Not exactly the good humor,
Right.
man. All right,
Exactly.
Griff, thank you.
So now they're going to start with the mask mandate. You know it's going to come to New York, every liberal city near you. Even though you got the shot, even though you can prove that you're vaccinated, if they even asked, we thought that was going to be the debate. Now they're going to say the vaccine must not be effective because now they want you to wear a mask everywhere because there might be somebody, according to Anthony Fauci, immunocompromised around you.
Right.
So you should alter your lifestyle, especially if you're 6 or 7 years old. Put a mask on. Fantastic.
It sounds like it's for the unvaccinated. It's for the people who have not. You were just talking to John Tapper. He said, look, he was out in Mount Rushmore. Thousands of people, nobody was wearing a mask. Remember, the rule is if you've been vaccinated, you don't need to wear the mask. But if you have not been vaccinated, you need to wear a mask.
It depends on where you live. In LA County,
It is a suggestion. And so there are a lot of people who see, hey, I don't have to wear a mask because that person is wearing a mask. There are a lot of people faking it.
But listen, if you didn't get a vaccination, that's your choice. And if you did, like I did, and they did, and maybe you did, then you should not wear a mask. And if you didn't, if you want to go cliff diving this weekend, you don't have to check with me. It seems a little dangerous, but I'm not going to judge you. And if you go ahead and put yourself in danger, if you feel as though this is not something for you, don't do it. But don't affect my life.
99% of the people who are dying from COVID are unvaccinated.
That's their choice.
They don't want to die. So they are. The administration and the government is saying we need the mask mandate to protect the unvaccinated.
That's not their job. It's not their job to protect anybody.
Well, they're pushing, if you read any of their social media, they're pushing get vaccinated, do the right thing, get vaccinated, save other people's lives. And they're upset with Facebook because they say there's a lot of misinformation out there. They have their top 10 list, top 12 list of people that they don't like their messages. Right. There's some anti-vaxxers out there that are spreading information and they don't agree with it. So that's why Florida GOP Congressman Byron Donalds, member of the House Oversight Committee, wants to call the executives from Facebook to come in and meet with Congress. And he joins us now. Good morning to you, Congressman.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
Tell us more about that. What do you want to ask the executives of Facebook?
Oh, it's very clear. I want to ask them, what has the White House told them? When did they tell them? How frequently had the White House been in contact with them? And that goes for Twitter, too, and any other social media company we can get in. The White House seems to have forgotten the First Amendment. It's not their job to police speech. Frankly, the Constitution clearly states they should never, ever, ever have that job. It's not a part of their purview. Right. But because of a pandemic, they think that they have the ability to take all powers everywhere. You guys are just talking about these door-to-door programs. That's not the government's role. The government's role is to provide information in situations like this. If the White House wants to tweet out and put on social media what they think needs to happen with vaccinations and COVID protocols, that's their business. Do that. But you don't get to go put pressure on private companies in order to have them remove information, remove posts. Right. That is actually going against the First Amendment. It's using private companies to do your dirty work for you. And so these companies need to come in and need to answer the Congress about what they've been doing and how much pressure the White House has been exerting on them.
Sure. Well, Congressman, you know, every poll, it seems like, that is taken about Joe Biden and how he's handling everything, he always finishes first with how he's handling the pandemic. But when you look at how badly they missed the administration target of trying to get 70% of the country with at least one jab by the 4th of July, they missed that. And so now, you know, the administration is blaming Republicans, they're blaming Trump, they're blaming Facebook. Facebook was not going to stand for it. They said, look, just because Joe Biden missed his 70% target, don't blame us. 85% of the people on Facebook actually have gotten the jab or are going to get the jab.
That's exactly right. Listen, here's the problem. Leftists always think that if their goal doesn't get hit, doesn't meet, it's everybody else's fault. Newsflash, stop being a pest. Stop pressuring everybody. Stop throwing it in people's faces. You know, people typically have like a revolt when somebody tells them what to do. If you want people to get vaccinated at a higher rate, just provide the information, step back, and let adults manage their own lives. This is a free country. People are going to do what they want to do. Listen, I'm 42 years old. I had COVID-19. I'm not getting vaccinated because I don't want to. It has nothing to do with what the Surgeon General says. It has nothing to do with what Joe Biden wants. That is my own decision as a free-thinking human being. I don't want to do it. I don't want the shot. You have millions of Americans who are like that. Leave us alone.
Congressman,
Please.
guess what? You shouldn't have to get the shot. They don't want to even bring up natural immunity. You have natural immunity. They don't even want to bring that up to a factor. They should give you an antibody test, and that should be as common as a COVID-19 test. But for some reason, Anthony Fauci and company don't want to do it. So if people want to if not get vaccinated, and if they end up hospitalized, these are their decisions. Since when are we getting involved in their decisions? And why do I have to pay the price for their decision not to get vaccinated? Why do I have to wear a mask?
Exactly. You shouldn't have to. But I think it's important for the American people to understand that these things, this is actually the road to serfdom. When you allow a government entity like the White House or any other government entity to begin to take on more and more power and step outside of what they are authorized to do, then they have these bright ideas that they are the ones that get to shape reality for everybody else. This is a real problem for them because they could have just stopped and said, we recommend people to get vaccinated. Please go get the vaccine. There are plenty, they're available. But they've gone way past that. They're now putting pressure on social media companies to censor speech in our country. That is not the job of the president of the United States.
And here comes the oppression again. Here comes the mask mandate in Las Vegas and Los Angeles, and you just watch them hitting these other Democratic states. But we have a lot more to discuss.
Yeah, Congressman, let's talk about Cuba, because you live down in Florida. You've probably seen a lot of these rallies and people demonstrations standing in solidarity with their family members or folks down in Cuba. A recent podcast that was recorded back in 2019 was recently released. And this is Nicole Hannah-Jones. She is the writer of the 1619 Project. She's also a professor at Howard University. And she says in the podcast, she says the most equal, multiracial country in our hemisphere, it would be Cuba. Cuba has the least inequity or inequality between black and white people any place really in the hemisphere. I mean, the Caribbean, most of the Caribbean, it's hard to count because the white population in a lot of those countries is very, very small. A lot of those countries are run by black folks. But in places that are truly at least biracial countries, Cuba actually has the least inequality. And that's largely due to socialism, which I'm sure no one wants to hear. What's your reaction?
First of all, I'm outraged, but I'm not surprised. Listen, this is the problem with the left. Margaret Thatcher, God rest her soul, said it best. They rather the poor be poorer, so it means that the rich are less rich. Let's be very clear. The reason why there's so much equality in Cuba is because it's a communist dictatorship. Nobody has anything. Right. That's not a society I want. That's not a society anybody wants.
By the way, it's great. Congratulations on her showing her true colors. She's a socialist who sees a lot of merit in communism. Thanks.
Absolutely right. It's completely ridiculous, but this is the rationale. This is the ideology of the left. They would rather everybody be on the same playing field. But when you do that, folks, that means nobody has anything, except for the government, of course. Sure. Nobody else has anything. So we're all equal then. Great. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Of course, there have, as Ainsley said, there have been rallies in support of the Cuban people. You know, they want to be free. They hate communism. Right. They would love the kind of freedom we have. In fact, you spoke at Turning Point in Tampa over the weekend, as did Governor DeSantis, and we have a little clip where he welcomed the folks to a particular place that you won't find anywhere else. Listen to this.
Let me just give you a personal welcome to the free state of Florida. We believe in lifting people up, not locking people down. We believe in protecting the rights of kids to get an in-person education, the right of people to earn a living, and the right of people to maintain their businesses. Florida chooses freedom over Fauciism. We've backed the blue in Florida, and as a result, people leave some of these places where they don't have any support. They want to get jobs here in Florida. We welcome them because we understand the important job they do upholding the rule of law in our country.
And Congressman, the governor went through a whole bunch of different issues right there, all things very popular with those young conservative voices who are there in Tampa this week.
Listen, Governor DeSantis is proving every day that he's America's governor. He's the best in the country, and he's absolutely right. Here in Florida, we are the free state. We are the liberty state. That's where everybody flocked to during the COVID-19 lockdowns all over the country. They came here. Some of them stayed. Thanks, Andrew Cuomo, for increasing real estate prices in the state of Florida. But that being said, he's hit all the high notes, and he's absolutely right. We want to make sure people are empowered. We're not going to lock people down. We want them to use their brains, take advantage of the information available, protect themselves, and protect their loved ones. It's not that hard. This is simple stuff. And young people are getting it. It is resonating with them. This is the biggest turning point they've ever had, and it's only going to go bigger from here.
Byron, thanks so much. Appreciate you joining us today, and look forward to talking to you again.
Thank you.
Anytime.